Hey friends, and welcome back. Today we're going to be explaining remainders, and we'll do this with using place value understanding and models. Here's what you're going to need for today's lesson. Let's begin. Our first problem today is 41 divided by 3. What discs can we draw to represent the number 41? We can draw 4 tens, 1 1. Do this on your paper now. How many equal groups will we divide 41 into? 3. Let's draw these 3 groups now. Now that we've drawn our 3 equal groups, let's share 4 tens equally. How many tens are in each group? Draw place value discs as you distribute the 4 tens into the 3 groups, like you're dealing cards to 3 players. Here we can see that there's 1 10 in each group, and there's 1 10 remaining. How can we divide that remaining 10? We can unbundle 1 10 as 10 ones. Do this with me now. How many ones do we now have? 11 ones. Let's divide those 11 ones into 3 groups. We'll divide 11 ones into 3 groups by distributing 1 to each group. How many ones are remaining? Here we can see that we have 8 ones remaining. Are there enough to distribute again? Yes, we can distribute 1 to each group. How many are left now? 5. Let's distribute again. We now have 2 remaining. Our place value discs clearly show the solution for 41 divided by 3. Tell me the quotient and the remainder. 41 divided by 3 has a quotient of 13 and a remainder of 2. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to pause the video here to write an equation that we can use to check our division. I'll be here when you get back. Welcome back. Here is the expression that I wrote out. Open parentheses, 13 times 3, close parentheses, plus 2 equals 41. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to pause the video here and explain aloud where the numbers 13, 3, 2, and 41 are represented in the place value chart. 13 is the 1 10 and 3 ones in each of the groups. 3 is the number of groups that we've made. The number 2 is the remaining 2 ones from the whole. And the number 41, well, that's the whole that we created in the beginning. Think about the last problem that we just solved. Go ahead and share aloud. What happens when we have an extra 10 we can't distribute? When we have an extra 10 we can't distribute, we break apart the 10 into 10 ones. Then we add the 10 ones to the ones that are already there, and then we distribute them into the equal groups. Can you think of a real-life situation in which we might need to change a 10 for 10 ones? I was thinking about money when we're trying to get change for $10. Let's say I give 4 students $64 to share equally, 6 $10 bills, and 4 $1 bills. I'd like you to pause the video here to write an equation that represents this problem. And then I'd like you to draw place value discs on your chart to represent how much money there is. We'll compare afterwards. Here you can see I've drawn the equation 64 divided by 4. I've also represented the number 64 on our place value chart. 6 $10 bills here, and then the 4 $1 bills here. We need to divide this by 4 students. So let's represent the 4 groups below. Let's start now with the tens. What happens when we try to share 6 $10 bills equally with 4 people? Each person gets 1 $10 bill, but then we'll have 2 $10 bills left over. Let's show this in our place value chart now. So what do we do next? We need to make change. We must cash in those 2 $10 bills for 20 ones. Or the students could change the 2 10s for 4 5s. Both approaches would work. Since we're using a place value chart to show division, let's pretend that the students change 2 10s for 20 ones. Let's model this in our place value chart now. I'd like you to go ahead and pause the video here to exchange the 2 10s for 20 ones. Then go ahead and distribute the ones. We'll compare our work when you get back. Welcome back. Go ahead and take a moment now to compare your work with mine. You may have noticed that when distributing the ones, I crossed off 5 discs at once. I did this because I knew that each student could get one group of 5, since I have 4 groups of 5 here. For future problems, you could do it this way. I just did it this way because I thought it would be more efficient. So, how much money did each student receive? Each student received 1 $10 bill and 6 ones. Each student received $16. Let's check our answer now. What equation could we use to double check our work? We can multiply 16 times 4. 6 ones times 4 is 24 ones. 110 times 4 is 4, plus the 2 10s is 64. Our quotient is correct. 64 divided by 4 equals 16. For today's work, your must-do problems are here on the screen. Go ahead and take 10 minutes to work through these problems. Of course, if you have any additional time, with the other problems on the pages. Today, we explained remainders using place value understanding and models. Great work for today. Be sure to check in with your teacher, and of course, we'll see you around soon for another Eureka Math lesson. Enjoy the rest of your day.